How's it going? Today I thought that I would do something a little bit different. I usually do gameplay videos, but I am going to do a tier list. Clearly I'm going to rank all of the Gen 1 Pokemon, because let's face it, after that no one gives a shit. If you do, I'm sorry, but I don't. So let's get to it. And we've got a couple to get through, so the ranking's based on what I feel like. There's no real criteria, and I'm going to keep license to move things around after I've placed things, depending on if I think at the end of it I've done well or not. So we're going to start with Bulbasaur. Clearly the best starter Pokemon. I don't care. This is the best one for a couple of reasons, but he's the one that you pick if you want to beat Brock at the beginning, right? Like, well, I guess Squirtle could too, but Squirtle's like a freaking turtle, dude. This is like a dinosaur with a big ass plant that can eventually shoot solar beams. I mean, he doesn't get points because of the fact that he can't shoot solar beams, so I'm going to try to keep that out of the equation as much as I can, but regardless, he's getting an S. Venusaur. You finally get like Vine Whip and Razor Leaf and stuff. His moves are pretty sweet, but he's kind of half-assed, right? Like, if you could choose between like having a Bulbasaur or a Venusaur, you'd pick one of them. You wouldn't, like, this is the last guy on the team to get picked. He's not even like that cool. Like, I don't care about him at all. So he can go to C. Yeah, I'm good with C for now. Venusaur. He's got his solar beams. Again, big ass dinosaur. It's unspoken, but look at this big boy. He's freaking girthy. He can stomp on shit. Like, he's just impressive. So he's going to get an S rank. Charmander. I mean, people find Charmander cute. He's got a big ass weakness in that he'll die if it freaking rains, because of his if his tail goes out, he will die. I do think he's pretty cool. Not as cool as Bulbasaur, but he can go, I think, in A. And then similar to Venusaur, this, like, what the hell is this? Like, I think that they made Charmander, and then they're like, he's gonna eventually become this, like, badass dragon. What's, like, in between? You know, like Animorphs, how there's, like, the people, and then what they finally become? This is, like, part of the in-between of the transformation, and, like, it just looks like shit. Nobody cares about this dude. I think even less than this guy. I think that he gets a D. He's not an F, but he gets a D. Charizard, badass fire-breathing dragon. Not the most original concept, but his art style definitely differentiates him. Flamethrowers, everything, and actually, I do feel that I am a little bit of a kindred spirit in that. If something is boring, I would rather sleep than do it. So in that sense, I can respect him. He, I think, deserves to go up here with Bulbasaur and Venusaur. Now, I have problems with Squirtle. People think he's cool, but you can tell a Pokemon's not cool if, like, you have to have him in sunglasses in the cartoon for him to act like he's cool, you know what I mean? It's a turtle. It's just a turtle. I feel like for nostalgic reasons, I am actually pretty tempted to put him in an F just because of how lazy that fact is. But because of nostalgic reasons, and because he was one of the starters, I will put him in C, but I never considered him. War Turtle. He's kind of cool. He's got war in his name, right? And I always respected that fact. I did think he was pretty badass. I'm gonna put him... I don't think... I mean, nostalgia's the only thing keeping this in C tier. I kind of want to put War Turtle in C tier as well. And though I do think that War Turtle is actually better than Squirtle. Because it's just a freaking turtle, man. This is at least like something different. And I think that he has the attitude. He's like the Sonic the Hedgehog of Pokemon, you know? He's got the attitude. Whereas this is like, it wants to have the attitude, but it's not really... But this has the nostalgia carrying it, so I stand by my choice for now. Blastoise. Pretty freaking cool. He's got cannons on his back. I respect that. You know... all of the original 3 starters, right? Once you get them to their final form, it's an epic moment. You know, as a kid, everything seems more epic, but evolving these are like pivotal moments of my life. So he can go up here. He's a badass with like big ass cannons on the back of him. So I guess I'm not cool with turtles, but turtles plus cannons, that's cool in my book. Caterpie, he is just basically a caterpillar, but he's different enough. They gave him a bit of a personality. He's one of the first Pokemon that you can get that gives you instant gratification because of the fact that it evolves like to something half decent by level 10. Also a good choice for defeating Brock at the beginning and having something other than freaking tackle. I think that Caterpie can go into, honestly, B tier. Value for money when you come across it. This one's a get.
Yeah, these are definitely a buy.
Metapod, one of the most annoying pieces of shit in my whole existence. Hard and hard and hard and hard and hard, and you come across them. These are worth farming for the experience, but my god, they make you work for it. I hate this piece of crap. It's going in D only because it's iconic in a way, in how useless it is, and I kind of really enjoy that aspect of it. It's definitely memorable. It is seared into my brain as a piece of crap. So in that, it escapes the F. Butterfree, one of the best early Pokemon, honestly. Later on it falls off, but it's a freaking butterfly, but at the same time, it's actually really useful. Again, instant gratification doesn't make you like finish the game before it will get to this final level. And it saved my life on multiple occasions. So I think that this can go in B tier with Caterpie. I guess for similar kind of reasons. Weedle. The amount of times that this bastard poisoned me. It's hard enough playing in the backseat of the car on the way home, right, on a long drive, at night, like when you got to use the street lights to see the screen. We're walking through Viridian Forest, and this guy keeps poisoning your damn team, and you're slowly dying as you're trying to traverse this maze of a jungle. I thought it was cool that I can use him to poison things. And I also had an inflated level of respect for him because I had yellow, and I think that this was only available in red. And so I thought that this was a kind of a cool thing, only because I wanted it and I couldn't get it. But this one's going in D. It's as annoying as Metapod, easily. Kakuna. I always thought the design was kind of cool, and it was in that Pokemon Stadium minigame. As was Metapod, but I don't care. I thought that the angular design of this was pretty cool. He's useless, but he escapes the F tier. At the moment, I haven't necessarily put these in an order yet. I may save that for last. Pedro. He's a B with freaking lances for hands. That's pretty cool. And it's not just like, they're like, we have a butterfly, he's basically just a butterfly. But the bee, we're gonna like make him different. We're gonna give him stingers for hands. How he picks things up, how he does anything, well, I guess that can't be a criteria because a lot of these things couldn't pick stuff up, I guess. How it functions day to day, I have no idea. But not only does it have this stinger, it's got stingers for hands as well. Badass. B tier, I think. Yeah. Pidgey. It's literally just a bird. That's going in F tier. I'm sorry, nobody's excited about a Pidgey, and I guess it's not meant to be exciting because it is like right at the beginning, but it's a bird and it's going in F. Pidgeotto. It's also just a bird. They gave him a cool haircut and carries a bit more weight than Pidgey. Again, the feeling of getting one of these is you're like, I'm finally getting somewhere I can progress. This can get a bit of a D. I'm like really lukewarm about this. I don't really give that much of a crap. Also Pidgeotto, like, who could even be bothered evolving this into this unless they were trying to fill up their Pokedex? Nobody gives a crap about Pidgeotto. It's also It's also just a bird, and it's really nothing to write home about, and also like not really useful by the time you get it. So that's just going in F. Minimal effort. At least they put a bit of effort into this, but whoever got onto Pidgeot's design just took this and it's like, let's give it longer hair. So F. Rattata. It is just a rat. It's just a rat. It's going in F tier with Pidgey. Sorry, bro. Iconic, yes. Just a rat, yes. Rattata is a... No, sorry, Rattata, Eradicate. He is a big rat. No. He is constantly standing up and has a big mouth. They're pretty cool traits. They at least tried to make him a little bit special. But also, I traded Eradicate for like some guys all of his Pokemon cards in school. And he wasn't coerced in any way, he wanted it. But he wanted to change his mind later, and everybody knows, like, no takebacks, right? So his mum complained at the school, and then because of this event, Pokemon cards got banned at my school, like it did at many others. And I haven't been able to look at him the same way again since. I thought it was kind of cool, but not cool enough to, like, keep when I could get somebody's, like... an amount of cards that honestly their parents probably spent hundreds of bucks on just because the kid wanted this. But after this event, this is going in F. I would have considered D if not for that event. Like, to be honest, if this is hanging in there for nostalgia, this can also be penalized for, like, anti-nostalgia. Again, another bird. He's a bird with attitude, but he's a bird. Fearer. They at least tried to make this something. You get the participation trophy. I mean, it is what it is. Nobody gives that much of a shit about this. Ekans is interesting. He's just a snake, but they made his name backwards. I like to think that somebody was drinking when they made this, or high. Or they made it was like made backwards. Well, it was probably made back to front, because they were like, what if we like made a snake but we named it back to front? And then they thought that was such a good idea that they like committed to the idea, and it was like an inside joke for ages. And by the time they executed it, they're like, it's just a snake, but they had committed so hard to the idea that they just had to go with it. I like to think that that's what happened. It is still just a snake, so it's going here. But otherwise, without that thought, it would be an F for sure. Arbok. It's kind of half-assed, right? Because Arbok's, like, at the end it's spelled with a K, so it's not even really Cobra backwards, unless I don't know how to spell Cobra. Featured a lot in the series. Really dumb. It makes a really dumb noise though. I kind of hate that. And it also gets beaten up all the time. Though, I think it can rank higher up than Ekans. Thoroughly mediocre, but at least it feels like it's a Pokemon and not just an animal. Pikachu, flagship character. I had yellow version as a kid, so he'd follow me around everywhere. I actually never saw him as on the same tier as the other starters, but I think it gets a solid A, to be honest. Raichu, as per the cartoon, I was never interested in actually getting this guy. I had never even, I never considered him as a cool thing or part of my team or whatever. I am just thoroughly indifferent to this. However, they did at least try. Where this tier is full of birds and just like annoying pieces of shit, again, this can go in like the thoroughly mediocre tier. Sandshrew, basically just an armadillo. We have a lot of things on here, I suppose, that are just basically animals. No, looking down, there's not that many. Come across him at Brock's gym again, where I think his trainer says like, I'm light years ahead of you or whatever, or it will be light years before you can battle Brock or whatever, which is stupid because light years is a distance. His trainer's dumb. He's kind of dumb. I remember him being annoying to beat. Had a bit of respect for him in that regard, but also it's an armadillo. It's going to be really hard for anything that's like an animal to break this, if I'm honest. This guy is pretty badass. Man, I had to get some water. There's a lot of talking and there's a lot left to get through. I probably should have gotten a beer or something that would have made this rating more interesting, but nonetheless. Okay. Alright, Sandslash. Dumb name. I know that that's the English name for him, but I only know the English name, so that's what I'm going off. Dumb name. Loses points for that. Can never be S tier. I have no nostalgia for this one either. It definitely felt like a filler. though he did feel like pretty badass. So I'm going to put him kind of in the C tier, I think. Whoa, what's going on there? I'm going to put him in the C tier. I feel like he is definitely kind of, he equates to Arbok. Nidoran. There's two Nidorans, the female one. I did think it was kind of cool that there was this one and then this one. I felt like it was cool that they were basically the same but like different, and I thought about the possibilities of all the other Pokemon having variants like that. Kind of opened up the imagination a bit. Now, say what you want about this, I did feel this was the inferior version, just because of the fact that it didn't have like the poison and stuff. I think it had like double attack or something like that, but I didn't like, you know, I liked to plan. I didn't want this randomness in my game. That's not true at all, but that's how I feel now. This one, I was excited to see this one, if I'm honest, and I did always pick it up. This one, I think, can go in C tier. There's no way it's going higher than that. I think that that's about the right place for that. Nidorina. I'm gonna say I definitely wasn't as excited about this one as this one. I'm gonna be honest, I think my next door neighbor is having some kind of a mental breakdown, so it's throwing me off a little, but that's okay. We all have those days, I guess. Nidorino, I don't think, my gut tells me to not put it on the same tier as Nidoran. Again, another awkward phase. I think that it's kind of akin to Chameleon, why am I, whatever. I am drawing a blank. I think it's Charmeleon, right? I think that these are almost the same. Nidoqueen, I thought was pretty cool. I'm just gonna edit out my neighbor. Goddamn. Saturday. Alright, so where was I? Oh yeah, I thought that she's pretty cool. Definitely cooler than Nidoran. Cool enough to go up a tier? I don't know. I did always want to have both of these, but the downside is that they need a Moonstone, right? And to be honest, if I had to pick who I was going to Moonstone, it wasn't going to be Nidoqueen. I'm sorry. So Nidoqueen gets... Nidoqueen can definitely be in B tier, I think. Yeah. Around the same level as Pedro, I'm happy with that. Nidoran male. I think I like it. I liked it more than the female version because of the poison. There was just something about poisoning your enemies that I thought was cool. I'm going to put it in the same tier. I think it's going to go further. I did think that this was a pretty cool one, so it can go with these boys here. Nidorino. Yeah, Nidorino. So Nidorino can go. It still just felt like I guess a cock tease, right? You're like, okay, cool, I'm one step closer to Nidoking. Nobody was content with having this. I guess this is probably why nobody really cares that much about the middle Pokemon, is that it's like, okay, you're a stepping stone. I don't think any of the middle Pokemon are anybody's favorite, to be honest. But I'm glad that they exist because it felt like progress. But this is a glorified Nidoran, and it's basically going to rank in the same area. I kind of saw these as the same thing, just this was like a cooler version. So it can go here. It can go there for now. Nidoking, who didn't like Horn Drill? Like, the chance of a one-hit KO, as inaccurate as it was, that's pretty badass. He's basically, it felt like you had Godzilla on your team. He's going to A tier. For sure. Tempted, what, high A tier. Okay? I don't think he can make it to S, but A tier for sure. Clefairy. It was cool because of its rarity and because of its ability. Though its ability was kind of useless, it was pretty novel. Metronome let you copy the ability of... Oh no, you did a random ability. Pretty useless, pretty fun. I respect that. And it was super rare, so I had like a mystique about it. I enjoyed getting this, but just to have it, not because I actually wanted it in my team. It was like a treasure hunt, you know. That's it. You get the treasure, you turn it in, you sell it, whatever. That's it. This can go in high C because I valued it, but overall I found it to be pretty useless. Clefable, a Pokedex filler for sure, and one that was not worth it. You're gonna have Nidoking, you're gonna have Nidoqueen, or you're gonna use a Moonstone for Clefable. Nobody cares about Clefable, man. I don't know why this exists. That is going in with Nidorina, if I'm honest. Which is strange for a final form. But it's like, and at least like this one was a little bit cute. This one, they're like trying to make it like badass cute, and it just looks like a mess. Vulpix. I remember being pretty excited to get this one. It's definitely not up there. It didn't have that much of a nostalgia factor. I guess, you know, you have 150 Pokemon, they can't all be winners. This one, I did like Pokemon with fire because they seemed to be, you know, relatively uncommon. I did like burning things. This one can go in. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Mediocre. Probably around the same area as these guys. These guys are all kind of in a group. Ninetales. Again, wasn't too hyped about this one. It's pretty much the same deal, except it has 9 tails instead of 6. I never cared that much about having it. It was just a Pokedex filler. Jigglypuff. I mean, come on. Puts people to sleep, and when they fall asleep, they slap them in the face or draw on them or whatever. To be honest, this one could come party with me because that would keep people from passing out. People fall asleep at my parties, then they're going to get drawn on. That's just, it comes with the territory. Everybody knows about it. It's the rules of engagement. So this one, I respect that. This is going in A. The design itself, I don't care that much for, though it is clearly not just another animal. But its personality, A tier. We could party with this one. And to be honest, I think this would fit in with playing Guitar Hero and stuff with us as well. Wigglytuff. I don't know what you are. You should have stopped here. This is like when you're onto something good, and so you think that you can make it better, but you can't because it's already perfect. So you're going in, I'm sorry, but you're going in F. Like, you just, You're just a piece of crap. Like a Furby, but like, I respect Furbies, I don't respect you. You're just like, I would prefer a Pidgey than you. You're an abomination. Zubat, one of the most annoying pieces of crap, but it is a vampire bat. And that's cool. It pissed me off to no end in the caves. But it is a vampire bat, and that's cool. I saw them as cannon fodder when I was a kid, but now I see it as a vampire bat, and that's cool. That can go with B tier. There's no way. Okay, Nidoqueen's going up here. Let's just rearrange this a little bit. Beedrill is cooler than them. And Zubat has to be cooler than Caterpie. Okay, cool. Golbat. What have you done? Actually, I do remember this being kind of intimidating when I was a kid. And to be fair, this is just kind of a bat, so it should lose points for that. But also, it's a vampire bat, so that's cool, and I respect it. This was intimidating when I was a kid. I'm not gonna lie, I did imagine what it would be like to have to deal with one of these in real life, you know, but like, I think that this is going with Ivysaur. Yeah, for sure. Oddish. Nostalgia points. I did have a misprinted Oddish card when I was a kid, and I thought it was worth a lot, but then like I never got it evaluated, and like, it's one of those things that I always wonder, what if, you know, one of those things that keep me up at night. What if I would have been a millionaire off that card, but I just kind of gave it away. Also, I regret giving away all of my early Pokemon cards because they're worth a mint at the moment. But however, that's all it has going for it. Though it is really annoying because it uses all the spores and stuff like that. I think this can go in. Yeah, it's pretty much going here. Low C tier. I don't really give that much of a crap about it. Everybody's like, oh yeah, Oddish. Like, it's just an annoying. It's your annoying younger brother, you know. Like, you know, the one that's always like trying to have their turn on the Xbox or whatever. Like, get lost. This dude is. Yeah. Again, like most middle Pokemon, thoroughly mediocre. It basically looks like a dude from an anime convention. So it can go in. You can go in with these dudes. Fireplume. Again, one I never really strived for, whatever. Like, it's a big ass flower. I think it's like meant to be a corpse flower or whatever. But I just never really cared that much, and I think you had to do something special to it, like a grass stone or something. Definitely another Pokedex filler. Where do my Pokedex fillers go? I will stick it here. Yeah. Okay, Paris. You have to give it points for like how creepy this thing is. And it was cool. It was refreshing. You'd go through the caves. There was a whole bunch of Zubats freaking everywhere, and then you came across this thing, and it was different, and that was cool. It was like refreshing, you know. But then the story of the mushrooms on its back, you know, supposedly being parasites that are taking over its brain. That's cool. Do you know how cool that is? That's vampire bat cool. But also, vampire bats, I got pretty sick of them. That's pretty freaking cool. The Pokemon itself is trash, but the story behind it is cool. It's going in B. It's definitely above average. There's no way it's going up here with these boys, but thoroughly B tier. And then the fact that this is basically meant to be, Parasect's meant to be like a zombie, where the mushroom's taken over, and the mushroom's the real Pokemon that's just controlling the body. That's cool. That is cooler than Nidoqueen for sure, but not as cool as my drinking buddy Jigglypuff. Venonat, I forgot you exist. What are you? You're a insect, but like, at least insects are cool. Like, they're creepy and have like 6 legs and like a whole bunch of bullshit. You're like an insect, but if they took away all the fun stuff and then gave you like hands and feet. I did think that the red eyes were cool in memory. And you look more like you're meant to turn into a Butterfree. But, I mean, look at these. How are they not, like, somebody got confused here. So, and somebody forgot about you just like I did, and so they lumped you in with this. So we'll get to that in a moment, but you're going in like F. Unique, but in a bad way. This guy, I forgot he was even in Gen 1. I forget that he is a Pokemon. For me, this doesn't exist too. It's just, from memory, it's like later in the game, and by that stage, you're past your butterflies and moths and crap. You're into like your Parasects and your freaking Nidokings and stuff. Like, who wants a moth at that stage? It would be cool if this was near the beginning. It wasn't. Nobody wants this Pokedex filler, but like, I forgot you exist, so sorry. But Diglett, the man, the myth, the legend. What's under the ground? There's many theories. I will show a couple. This is cool. It's basically a turd. Maybe meant to be a mole, but like, not. It's definitely not a mole. It's just a cool thing that lives in the ground. I'm going to put this up here. It's going in my B tier. Just, I really like the idea of it. This one, however, they realize this is a cool idea. This is not the way to evolve it, man. Have 3 of them? I'm sorry, man, but like, whatever, anything else is moot. This is going in F. Dumb. Meowth. Okay. It's a cat, but it's a talking cat, so that's kind of cool. And it walks around and it has a dumb voice, but like, the cool thing is it uses payday, so it gives you money. Which, I mean, that move got useless after a point, but in the beginning it was super cool to just have something that like you can make money with, right? Part of Team Rocket nostalgia is pretty high in the game, just because it didn't have any of the characteristics of what it did in the cartoon. I felt kind of ripped off in a sense, but also like, I have to say, I had it in my party for the longest time just to use payday as much as I could. That's going here. Paris? No, Persian. It's just a cat, man. Oh yeah, but it's got a diamond in its head. It's still just a cat. And I guess they made the mistake of giving this one so much personality in the show. This one just sits there. It's just a freaking cat with a jewel on its head. And for that reason, I must give it an F. Psyduck. Another Another legendary Pokemon. Okay. So they could have just made it a duck, but it's not. It's a freaking psychic duck with a constant headache. And when it gets pissed off, it like just explodes into a psychic fury and destroys everything. That's freaking badass. I think that because of that, this will go here. High B tier. It's got character, it's got lore. It's not something phoned in like freaking Ekans. Oh yeah, the name's backwards, but it's just a freaking snake dude. Here, drop down a point for that again. Golduck. Pokedex filler. Let's be honest, nobody gives a shit about Golduck. And look at it. It's not even a duck anymore. It's basically Charmeleon. It's the Charmeleon of ducks. Bam. Mankey. Pretty badass. As far as fighters go, it has the personality for it. Just like furious, always in a rage, always pissed off. You can just feel the hatred coming off it. I think like the Game Boy graphic had like one of those anime angry crosses on it. I think, and like I was always excited to see one of these. I would actively hunt them out and look forward to the part where I would get to them. So that's going here. Primate. I think it. This is basically just I saw it as a stronger Mankey. It's basically the same thing for me, except for that it's bigger and has bigger limbs and stuff. I see them as almost indistinguishable, so they will go in the same spot. And I know I gave Dog Trio shit for this, but like also they at least tried here. Growlithe. It's a dog, but also not. It's a fire-breathing dog. Okay? Like, where Pidgey is a bird, and it's like, yeah, we'll use a gust and peck and stuff. This one's like, oh, we'll have a dog, but we'll give it like a flamethrower. That's cool. The design, I mean, it does look like a fire-breathing dog. I'll give them that. But it is still pretty much a dog, and it doesn't have a cool story. It can go like up here, I think. It's a fire-breathing dog. It is a dog. It's in C. I don't think it belongs here. But I don't think it belongs with Sandslash either. Arcane. Again, another case where I can't really distinguish the two from each other. It's just a more badass version of this. And in my mind, they're like basically banded together. Polywrath, a tadpole. If you ever see an image of the tadpole that it's actually based off, it's pretty gross. But it is definitely like just phoned in because it's based off an animal. And it's basically a tadpole. And also nobody gives a shit. That feels right. Polywrath. Another middle stage. Polywrath is awesome. Polywell's like, come on already. I don't, like, just get to the good stuff, man. If they got rid of these middle guys and they like just let you go to the end ones, and that, well, I guess I do appreciate the progression, but still, if they got rid of these middle ones, then they could have so much like cooler stuff. Like, nobody's excited about these middle ones. And for that, I mean, it basically goes with this middle one here. Yep, Polywrath, badass. I thought that, like, in a world where all the cartoon characters wore gloves, I don't know, I just thought that the gloves were cool. And it's like almost humanoid in a way. It's like a humanoid tadpole. it's like the tadpole's finally grown arms and legs, and it's like finally going to be able to get revenge on you. And if you think about it, in terms of Pokemon evolving, this is almost like the closest to human evolution. Not really, but you start off as a tadpole and you become like this humanoid thing. I feel like I could have a beer with this guy, though he might be a bit of a dick. You'd want to be on his team though. You know what? Him and Primate. I feel they're about equal. Bro, this little shit. Again, I saw him in the same way as like Clefairy because of the fact that he kept teleporting away and he was a little shit to get. But once you got him, teleport, that was cool. You could teleport out of stuff, and the psychic Pokemon as a whole were actually, no, that's a lie. This psychic Pokemon in particular, I did think it was pretty cool. And this guy is pretty original as well. I don't know what the heck this is meant to be based off. And maybe it's not based off anything, but I respect this one. I think that this one can actually go in the B tier. This guy's only got one spoon. Like, think about it. Why would you want a dude with one spoon when you can have a dude with two? This guy is... He needs to get another spoon. This is a guy in the workplace that tries to convince you about how good they are, but like really they're not very good. They're always talking about how good they are, but when push comes to shove and you see the actual results, they're just not there. This guy can actually go, I think. I think that this guy is like the coolest of the middle evolutions, if I'm honest. Alakazam, badass, super cool. He's got spoons, he's got the moustache. The moustache is very respectable. He levitates, he just floats around, and he doesn't give a shit. He's going up into A tier. I definitely think Alakazam's super cool. Holy shit, we got so many more to go. Alright, Machop. It's like a super cool Kung Fu dude. He's definitely at least C tier. It's like basically the closest to like, well, not really. I just thought it was really cool because he was one of the first Pokemon cards I had, to be honest. I think it was Low Kick for 20. This whole evolution chain actually, I think is pretty badass. To be honest, you know what feels right? It's putting him near Mankey. I was excited to get this guy. I thought he was cool. He's going in B tier. Machoke, I think, is like the one middle Pokemon that I didn't mind having. That's pretty cool, and it may or may not be because I got stuck with him for so long, because I think Machamp was like a trade evolution. But I think that this guy was actually pretty badass, and like, look at him. You want him on your team? I think that he's kind of in line with Polywrath, if I'm honest. And then Machamp. I mean, come on, he's got 4 arms. And like, at the time, Mortal Kombat was like the coolest shit ever. And you know, like Goro. So this is like, I could have Goro on my Pokemon team. So this is going up here with Alakazam for sure. Bellsprout. It was cool. I lie. It's definitely unique. It's definitely, they gave a shit about it. I think for that it escapes the D tier and the F tier. Like, look at this thing. It's just, it's so bizarre. I think, you know what, I'm just going to go with my gut because we don't want this to take 2 hours. This is going up here with Squirtle. Victory Bell. No, Weeping Bell. Nobody gives a shit about Weeping Bell. This is going with Gloom. For sure. And then Victory Bell. I always thought this was pretty cool. But then like I heard it again in the show.
Victory Bell, go!
And I lost respect for it a bit. Like if this thing could talk like Meowth, could you imagine what kind of a badass thing that would be? But I mean, it would have been in A tier probably if this thing was intelligent. My God. But I think it's just gonna have to sit in B, if I'm honest. Tentacool. Tentacool. I don't really care that much about it. It's basically a glorified jellyfish. I don't think anybody is excited about Tentacool. Tentacool, welcome to C tier. Tentacruel, badass. Yep, I mean honestly, I have about the same feelings for Tentacruel as I do for Victory Bell. Except this thing, I think it got so massive one time that it like destroyed a city. That was cool. Geodude. Okay, as a 9-year-old, how can you not think something with dude in the name is not just like the coolest thing ever? The only question is where to put it in B tier. I mean, and also like when you're at the beginning and you get your first rock Pokemon, you're like, oh man, I'm moving up in the world. The rock Pokemon always felt like the most badass sort of. So we are going with just almost based on the, well, it's got to be higher than Nidoqueen. I think that it's going here. That feels about right. Graveler. Nobody gives a crap. It's ugly. It's in between. It's going with the other, like, no one cares. Golem. Again, I think this was another trade one. I never gave that much of a crap about him. I thought that, like, I always thought of him as strong and something that was kind of worth getting, but like not going out of my way for. I think that this dude can go here with Sandslash. If his name was like Rock Dude or something, or like Mega Dude, then he may be further up, but his name is Golem, so sorry dude. Ponyta, horse, but on fire. If I liked horses that much, I would think that's cool, but at the moment I just kind of see horse that's on fire. I just feel like sticking it down here with Ekans, if I'm honest. Rapidash has a little bit more to it, and a little bit more excited about it than this one. But it's definitely not anything to write home about. I think that this one can go like right here. Slowpoke, I loved how dumb he was. I liked the whole like it gets hit and then it doesn't do for like a week. I can relate to that on certain days. And I think that this guy would actually bro down pretty well with Psyduck. I kind of put these, I hold these guys in the same regard, I think. Slow King would be cool. It's a slow, no, this is Slowpoke and this is Slowbro. Slowbro, again, another one I didn't want to go out of my way for, honestly. I was happy with Slowpoke just because of how dumb he was. I mean, he had this thing on the tail, which would be cool if it was like that ended up actually ever being a Pokemon or something, but it never did. Like, what is this? Again, this is almost a Dugtrio situation where you've got a standing up Slowpoke, and then you're like, oh, just add a thing to him. So this can go, welcome to... Welcome to like Sandslash. Yep. Magnetone. This thing's pretty cool. It's like a robot with magnets and shit like that. Always excited to see one of these. Pissed me off like Zubat, but also I thought it was pretty cool. I think that this goes here. Magnetone. And I would be a hypocrite if I did not just throw it here. Sorry dude, but like, have a think. Think about what you're doing. This is a bird, okay, but this is not just a bird. This is a bird with a leak, and for that I have so much respect for it. Okay, who thought of this? What was the thought process? It just like smashes people with a leak. I love that. I love how dumb that is. And where if it didn't have a leak, it would be here. It's got a leak. I think it's going up here with Diglett. Duo. Honestly, not a fan. It's a bird, but it has two heads, but it doesn't even look like a bird. Like, what is this thing? It looks like you could, like, just kick it in the neck and its head would fly off. Welcome to Metapod. Dodrio. Welcome to Get Down There. Seal. The literal worst thing. It looks like a seal, and it is a seal. The worst thing ever. They're like, dude, we need one more. We've only got 149. No. Dugong, I think... Hold on. Yeah, I was right. There is no such thing as a Dugong. It loses points for name. This is, however, something that doesn't necessarily occur in nature. But I just do not give a shit about it. It's going with Weeping Bell. Grimer. This is cool. I was a fan of Grimer. It's like living toxic sludge. It's definitely going C tier or higher. Does it belong with these guys? You know what? I think I give it around the same points as Magnemite. Right about there. Same level of creativity, same level of like feeling about it. Muck. It does feel like it's backing off the back of Grimer too much. I think welcome to Slowbro territory. This is the original idea. This is cool. This is like, you know, 2 scoops of ice cream. This is like when you add the 3rd scoop and you think like, oh cool, I get 3 flavors of ice cream, but then like really you didn't like want that much. So I don't respect it as much. Shoulder. I mean, nobody gives a shit about Shoulder. Welcome to Venonat tier. Cloyster. Good old Cloyster. What even are you? I'm not placing it here. I'm just like trying to look at it since this is going down. What the hell is this? This is like an acid nightmare. I think, and all jokes aside, I think this belongs here. Okay, we're getting through it. Ghastly. It's pretty cool that it can talk. It is just a ball with like gases, but also I had the card that was also one of my first ones, this one in Machoke, and it had like a graffiti in the background. so it gets nostalgia points, and I thought that was pretty cool. But it is just a ball with an afro. It can go... Let's shake things up a bit. It can go here. Alright. Zoom out a little, I guess. Haunter. A bit more originality here. I always thought that he was pretty cool and pretty creepy. I think that he can go kind of with Victory Bell. I mean, there's not much to say about him. It's like, looks is what it is, but I reckon around here. Gengar was one of my favorites for a long time. I don't know why, just something about like... Basically, like, I thought Clefairy was kind of cool. This is kind of like a Clefairy, but like a Clefairy that you'd want to use because it's like a badass, like... Just look at that face. It's cool, and I remember him being like some kind of a prankster as well, which I respected. Honestly, welcome to... I reckon right about here. Onyx, always cool to have on the team. Terrifying. Massive. I respect him. I always thought he was pretty cool. Always want to have on the team. Not much past. Like, I didn't care about him much past the fact that I thought that he was like pretty badass. So I think I might actually stick him here. Here. Like, these are the ones that are kind of like badass but nothing more, I think. Okay. Drowsy just looks like he shit his pants. Welcome to Weeping Bell. Hypno is just, it's just the dumbest thing. I don't want to think through this. I don't want to give it the mental. I'm just like, welcome to Wigglytuff, dude. Krabby. Welcome to Seal. It explains itself. Kingler, he has a bigger claw. So welcome to like top tier F. Voltorb. He's almost like it's almost like he's a starter, but he's a middle somehow. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like you get him and you don't feel like he's a starter. Well, not a starter, but like a first level, you know what I mean? Just because of the time in the game that you get him. So you give him a little bit more respect than that, but I feel like he's basically a Venusaur. Ivysaur, where Electrode is a big ass smiling ball that was self-destruct and taken down with him. This guy does not give a shit. I don't know, his design's basic, but I dig the attitude. You always wanted one just for like a rage quit, basically. He's basically the table flip of Pokemon. I think that he can kind of go here. Execute. It's a bunch of eggs with eyes. And you may think that I think that's dumb, but I think that's actually so stupid that I love it. It can definitely go higher than Caterpie. You know what? I'm sticking it in here. That I would gladly have a party with these two in it, honestly. Like, not like a party, but like, you know how you have your 6 Pokemon? Yeah. Now, they put effort into trying to differentiate this from this, but how eggs become coconuts, I don't know, and like, nobody gives a shit about this. I want to put it with Gloom. But just because of the originality of it, I'm going to put it up here with Kadabra. No, it goes here. But that's about as high as I can give it. Cubone. Oh man. Has the most badass backstory, if you believe it. I think its entries say that it wears the skull of its mum, and it cries all the time. So probably the most depressing, but like most badass Pokemon, honestly. So this is going with like Parasect, because I think like these are like similar levels of like tragic cool. Marowak, let's be honest, just a stronger Cubone. Nobody sees these as different. And usually that will chuck them down here, but like I just sometimes if I like this one and I get a stronger version of it, I'm happy with that. It's like getting chicken salt on your chips, you know what I mean? Now, controversial, but from what I've heard, Kangaskhan is meant to be the third in the evolution of this. And this is meant to be the mum. And I'll get a big image of this, but the baby in its pouch is meant to be the Cubone, so it's meant to come like full circle. This is all alleged, but if it's true, then that is like a pretty freaking depressing but like interesting trio of Pokemon, and because of that I'm gonna rank this next. And if this story is true, this is going straight to S tier, just for like how badass that story is. This is on the assumption that that story is true, and I want to assume that that's true. Hitmonlee. This Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan? Yeah, Hitmonlee. Of Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, I thought Hitmonlee was way cooler. Because, I don't know, he's just like this badass dude that can like kick across the room, and maybe Smash Bros flavored my opinion, but like, I don't know, I just always thought he was pretty cool. Cool enough for B tier. I reckon this feels about right. Hitmonlee, I didn't really respect. I think that he's like the Raichu. Like, I knew the kicker and the puncher, but like, if you could have the kicker and the puncher, why wouldn't you pick the kicker? Don't understand. Lickitung, ridiculous. Such a ridiculous Pokemon. Just like, but like for that reason, it kind of can go to the. Can it go to the ridiculous tier? Yeah, it can go to the B tier for creativity, and I think that it's about as ridiculous as Execute, so I think that like this works. Execute's more ridiculous, so it gets higher. Coughing. I saw it as pretty cool, but I think that the cartoon may have flavored that a bit. I did like the skull and crossbones on his stomach. You know what, I think that I would rank it around the same as Magnemite. Wheezing. Wheezing is the gloom of coughing. Not only because of their mannerisms, but like, look at these three. They're peas in a pod. Rhyhorn, again, badass, strong. My gut tells me that this goes here with Onyx. Like, I kind of see them as, I'm intimidated by them the same amount. Rhyhorn gets bumped up a little bit. He can't be as cool as Geodude, I'm sorry. But I think he's cooler than Nidoqueen. So he can go here. Okay. Chansey. I think kind of like getting a Chansey, I had a similar feel of getting a Clefairy, right? For some reason I saw them as kind of rare but useless. So that's going there. Clefairy, I think, is more rare than this, so that's going there. Tangler, This is creative, but I have no respect for it. The spaghetti monster can go here. Horsey is a freaking seahorse. Like, you're like with Kingler or Ekans and stuff. At least Ekans had a glimmer of creativity. The name was backwards. And this one, it's on fire. Okay, this, you're a seahorse. This, you're a spiky seahorse. Welcome to like the same area. Goldine, a freaking goldfish, man. What are they doing? Like, I mean, these ones are like abominations. Or like just the laziest shit ever. I mean, look, we have lazy. And then we have like, shouldn't have tried at all. Or like, I don't know, what are these? How do I put this into words? These are just lazy. And I can respect that in a sense. These are like rip-offs. And I don't respect that. And then you're trying to tell me that this is a new thing. It's not. Like, get out of here. So, I think this is the cutoff. And in this sense, I think Pidgey has to be like the most, just like, and this, no, Seal's the worst. There, these three are like the most phoned in. This one, at least they tried to make it like elegant, but like here. There you go. Sea King. I mean, it's a fish with a horn. And also like a Pokedex filler, if I'm honest. They tried. They did. They added something. But welcome to Weeping Bell. Staryu. It's a starfish with a gem. Where's my cat with a gem? There we go. It's only fair. You know what? There. These are the gem ones. These are the ones where they actually like did something a little bit different, but it's essentially the same animal. I feel like this is at least some level of creativity, but it's not enough to push it up here. Because, I mean, come on, backwards name snake. This one, I guess. Controversial, given what I just said. But I do respect the Starmie. Enough. I do respect it enough to stick it here. Mr. Mime. Again, another ridiculous Pokemon. I just loved how stupid it was. And also you get it in a trade, which means that the experience goes up faster. And that doesn't really matter because it doesn't turn into anything, but also I don't care. So it's going up here between Geodude and Lickitung, honestly. It's in ridiculous tier. Scyther. Badass. Knives for hands, swords for hands. Pops out of the long grass, just flies at you. It's basically an insect, but an assassin. Well, I guess it's like a praying mantis, but praying mantis is a dope as hell. This one, I think. This one, I want to stick it here. Okay, Jinx. Jinx. I think that we. Okay, let's talk about Purple Jinx, alright? Let's talk about Purple Jinx. Just for the record, Purple Jinx. Purple Jinx is ridiculous. Like, how is this meant to be a Pokemon? It confuses me so much. It's like basically like a Ghastly in drag. It never felt like a Pokemon. It actually never felt like a Pokemon to me, actually, and it's got to go with, I think, Venonat. Ridiculous, but not a Pokemon. It's like just like a weird... I don't know how to feel about that. Electabuzz. Again, original. Intimidating. Commands respect. Goes... So, because of that noise,
I choose Electabuzz!
where it might have like sat around here, I think it's going to go just before Geodude. Magmar, I feel like almost exactly the same about it, if I'm honest. Like, Magmar is the fire version of Electabuzz, except it doesn't make the cool noise. So it can go like here. Pinsir, what the hell are you, man? You went for different, but and it wasn't a failure of a different, it was just like you're a cloister. You're the cloister of bugs. Okay. Taurus, dude, you're a bull with 3 tails. And in that sense, you can go just behind Vulpix because you have less tails. And this feels about right anyway. Magikarp. Nobody wants it, but I love what they did with it. It's like the epitome of working with what you got, you know what I mean? It's useless, but it was made to be useless. So in that sense, I think I'm gonna like... I feel like it's Diglett tier. I feel like it... Yeah, it's Diglett tier to me. Gyarados, super badass. Who doesn't like Gyarados? Welcome to A tier. Lapras. I thought that this was cool. I thought that it was cool, but that's only because it's like difficult to get and you can't get it in like the traditional manner. I was like roped into thinking it was cool, but it's really not cool. It's not that cool, honestly. It is original. And it's not bad original. It's like, I think it's like really low B tier. Ditto. Okay. This Pokemon is like the funnest. It's the most ridiculous. It's the most original. I really like it. Just because of like... Just because of how dumb it is. Like, well, it's not dumb. How interesting it is. I think that it can go here. I think I could party with a Ditto and like a Jigglypuff. I think that this would be kind of a sick party to have. They can be buds. They can go there. Eevee is cool because it can become 3 things. But is that potential like... It can become things, but it's not those things. So I don't think like that it can be... Like, it's cool that it has 3 evolutions. But Eevee is not the evolved form. That being said, was pretty excited to get Eevees when I could get them. I think, like... It can go around Abra tier, you know? No, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon. How to look at these? I thought... Whoa. Okay, I almost dropped my water. Okay, I thought... Let's be honest, I thought all of these was cool, but also I think that if memory serves, you could only have one of them. So I think that some of these like were artificially made into cool. Like, trying to like step back from it. Do I want this compared to like most other things? Not really. I think that this is pretty much like Lapras tier. Jolteon, I kind of like respected this least out of the evolutions. I think that this is like the Raichu of EV evolutions, if I'm honest. I thought Flareon was the coolest. And like, just because I thought it was kind of cool, I think it fits in around here. Like, I think that these two are about equal cool, so that makes sense. Porygon, I never actually saw it as a Pokemon. My mind can't turn it into one. I think that this is like Jinx tier. This is not a Pokemon. This is just nothing. This is basically a rock. Okay, this is an interesting one. You know what? I don't respect the Omnite. Don't respect the Omnite. Never really cared that much for this snail. This is basically like here, I think. Yeah, that feels about right. Also, this abomination, I didn't think it was cool. I was just kind of like, what the hell is this thing? Even if I got this, I would have been disappointed because I wouldn't have even wanted to get it to become this abomination. This goes here, right here with Clefable. Kabuto, this one's cool. This one was speaking my language. This one can go up here. Kabutops was definitely my favorite of the two. I thought he was pretty cool, but from memory, by the time I got him, I never like used him. Like, this Geodude wall is a hard wall to crack, but I think I'm gonna put him just before Geodude. Aerodactyl. He felt like he tried too hard. You know what I mean? He just felt like he tried way too hard. And again, he kind of felt like an extra. He felt like a third wheel. I think I'm feeling like welcome to Lapras tier. Snorlax. Awesome. Iconic. Everybody loves Snorlax. He blocks the route. He adds emerging gameplay, and everybody wants him. He's just freaking badass, man. I would throw him near Gyarados. Now again, I feel like these were made kind of artificially cool because of the fact that they were legendary. But also, like, you could tell that like they actually gave a shit and they put work in. Now, having ice Pokemon was actually really cool. I remember freezing members of the Elite Four and being like, yes, suck it. I did really enjoy that. And I found this one to be like actually useful. So I'm going to put him, I think, just before Gengar. Zapdos, not as much. I mean, it's a Thunderbird. It's kind of cool. I remember him having Thunder and it not having a great hit chance, and also it's a bird, but let's just add Jagged around it. Like this, look, it has a ribbon tail and stuff. I don't know. This is like just, I mean, you can tell it's a lightning bird. It does what it says on the tin, but I think Tentacruel level. If I'm completely honest, Moltres, I didn't like the look of this one, the aesthetic, and by the time I got to this, I already had so many fire Pokemon that I just didn't like really give a shit. I think that this one is Lapras tier. Right there. It just felt weak. Like, somehow it's made of fire, but it doesn't feel badass at all. Dratini? Yeah. Dratini, I mean, it's got some originality to it, but like, I don't know, oddish. There we go. Like, nobody gives a shit about this one either. That's nobody's favorite. Dragonair, same thing, but with like a gem, and like it's trying to be elegant, but it's also a worm. I think maybe, yeah, it's like Weeping Bell level. Dragonite. It's got such ridiculous little wings and a fat body. It's like when most people think of a dragon, they think badass. But when they thought of a dragon here, they thought like dopey. And I kind of dig that. I like that they went in an opposite direction with it. I think it's dumb. I definitely think it's dumb. I think it goes like here, if I'm honest. Mewtwo, super badass. Like one of the coolest things. And you know, everybody wanted them, and I have a memory of like one of my friends being so good at the game that he caught him with a normal Pokeball, and like I still am in awe of that moment. I haven't forgotten it. He's like etched into my childhood and my memories, and he's going up here somewhere. Mew, I don't think many people got Mew. I think the only way to get Mew is like through a competition, and they transferred it onto your card. In that sense, it's kind of, I can get behind that, and I kind of can't, because the whole thing is like catch them all, but then they made one like super you can't get it. But also the stories that it spawned, the childhood pre-internet imagination that it sparked, the countless hours searching for it when it wasn't there. It's actually kind of the ultimate troll Pokemon. I can't put it in S because like I never got it, or maybe even not A. You know what? I think just because of like it was smart for them to include this because of the extra hours of gameplay that it added. Just with them not having to actually do anything, but like just having rumors of it existing. I think it can go low A tier. Now I'm just going to quickly go through the tiers, I think, and make sure that I'm happy with the orders. Okay, so all of these are trash. These aren't Pokemon. Oh, these are rip-offs. These aren't Pokemon. What the hell is that? Abominations. Just animals. This one's just an animal as well. Animals with a little bit of you know what? Here. Animals with diamonds. Animals with a little bit of a twist. Animals with more of a twist. I don't know, this armadillo, yeah, but I mean there's factors apart from that. But that's kind of what these are. Rattata, yeah, okay, so he's pretty iconic. These all feel about right. Drowsy, do you belong there? Do you belong lower? No, you're fine. Feeling pretty good about these. Yeah, I mean this has got to be the top of the D tier. Thinking about it, it's up here because of originality, I guess. Yeah, original as well. Let's have a look. Squat, yeah, okay. all of this, I don't know, it seems about right. These are the tiers that anybody gives a crap about. I don't think I can put Bulbasaur first. I think Mewtwo's the... No, you know what? Of all of them, if the story's correct, Kangaskhan there. Then I do think... that's the order. There. Yep. That's my final tier list. Well, if you made it through that, I doubt anybody did, but if you made it through that, well done. Have a good day.